for takeoff runway 34 right, SQ8816.
Okay, today in this video we are going to fly the Diamond DA62 aeroplane and taking off from Fukuoka airport on runway 34 right, and we're going to arrive or land in Nagasaki airport. But before that, we're just going to do a fly past of Fukuoka Tower just to see how it looks. Total flight time will be around 20 minutes. We'll see what we can we'll see how the scenery is along the way. So if we're ready, just get going. I'll go ahead and set autopilot to on.
Engaging autopilot.
Set the heading right now so we can take off on runway heading. Set VNAV and flight level change, and make sure our flaps are up so we are ready to go. So we're just going to release our parking brake and then put to full throttle and just steady the aircraft until around 80 knots, and then we'll take off. So almost there, 60 knots, some crosswind, we're going to use the rudder to steer. So 80 knots, okay, we should be taking off, but we are not, because level change is not on. For some reason it's not on. Oh, I know why, because my altitude is not set. Alright, so now I should be able to take off. Okay. Now I got positive rate, I'm gonna raise the landing gear. I'm gonna set to nav, so let the GPS take over the autopilot.
SQ8816, continue for north departure.
So we already missed our
Fukuoka Tower, SQ8816. Continue for north departure.
our tracking line, so we're going to steer our plane back to where it should be, and then make sure that nav is on and heading is on as well. So now when the aircraft hits the tracking line, GPS will take over again, and it will fly the plane as per the route we've assigned to it. So this is Fukuoka, just taking off from the airport. Now I'm going to wait for the plane to track the line. So we can look around Fukuoka airport area. Okay, lots of buildings. So see now the aircraft has intercepted the line and is going to turn accordingly. So it's going to reach Fukuoka Tower very soon. I'm not very sure actually which one it is.
SQ8816, lead in my airspace, frequency change approved.
Fukuoka Tower, SQ8816. Frequency change. Fukuoka
I think it's
approach,
this one here.
SQ8816 is type Diamond DA62, 1 miles north of Romeo Juliet for Foxtrot Zulu, 1100. Request flight following.
It's the one on the right.
SQ8816, Fukuoka approach, squawk 5577.
Squawk 5577, SQ8816.
So I'm going to disengage autopilot and make a turn and go back to the tower again.
SQ8816, radar contact 1 mile southwest of Romeo Juliet 5 Kilo Zulu, 900, altimeter 29er2.
Roger, SQ8816.
So ATC has given us flight following, which we requested, and altimeter is 2992, which is the standard barometric pressure. So I think this is Fukuoka Tower. I'm not sure how it exactly looks like, but it's probably something like this. And here we have another building. Alright, so I'm just gonna make a turn back to follow our original flight path. Going to load and climb a bit. Alright. Take another flight past of Fukuoka Tower. This time I'm going to do a cockpit view. That was close. Alright. So now let's go back to nav mode and let the autopilot take over again. Nav mode is on. Alright. So we're going to be flying over some mountains ahead, which means I'm going to have to increase my altitude to go higher up. So let's increase to about 2,000 feet above sea level and start our climb. Increase airspeed so that we can climb faster to maybe 140 knots. Okay. Now we're going to make sure we can clear all those mountains. Otherwise we're going to be crashing into this. So let's take a look back at the scenery around us. So there is actually a mountain range over here, which we'll need to get past in order for us to reach Nagasaki airport. So I'm not sure, I think we should be able to clear at 2,000 feet, yeah. So I'm going to keep this heading, rather keep this altitude, and I'm going to let the autopilot fly itself. If I see something interesting along the way, I'll disengage autopilot and then fly manually. And once I'm done with that, I will re-engage autopilot and let it fly to the planned route. So I already reached 2,000 feet altitude and my airspeed should start to increase. Okay, it looks like it's actually quite close to the altitude. Might just be clearing the mountain, and probably be wise to just go up another 500 feet just to make sure we can clear it. Just kind of a little bit more back to 40 knots. Yeah, I think this will be okay. Should be able to clear those mountains at 2,500 feet. These mountains are not very high. I mean, they are high, but they're not like super high. In some areas, the mountains can go to 10,000 feet. Oh, there is a radio tower right here, which is going to fly right over it. Oh, I think these are power lines. Alright, we pass those. And we should be able to clear all these mountains. Once we clear these mountains, we can decrease our altitude to back to about 1,000 feet or 1,500 feet. So we are closer to the ground, and it looks nicer. We can see more detail. So this mountain ranger, there are some lakes here. Rivers, I suppose. Pretty normal, right? So I'm not sure. Let's check out our. Also, it looks like yeah, we should be able to. Yeah. So before we hit Nagasaki airport, there's going to be another mountain range over here, and we need to look out for how high these are and make sure we can clear those as well. And looks like I may need to go a little bit higher. We'll see how it goes when we are closer. Now in the real world, you would already have all these mountains and how high they are, looking at a map before we actually start to take off. Right? And this is a simulation. We'll just play, you know, accordingly, and we see the mountain a little bit high, we'll just go up again. I think it's a little bit high. So I'm going to go a little bit higher to 3,000 feet. Start climbing again, back to using the airspeed of about 140 knots. I'm sure we can clear those mountains. Yeah, I think we need to go up. Looks pretty high. So when we actually cross these mountains, we should be quite close to where we're supposed to land on Nagasaki airport. It's probably just once you pass the mountain range, you probably see the airport already. So in this flight, I'm not going to use the ILS approach, because that will actually allow us to auto land the aircraft, but there's two factors. One is that I'm not sure if the runway or the airport has the ILS Cat 2 for me to do auto land, and also if I do ILS approach, it will actually take me to a longer route. So I'm just going to stick to a manual landing using what we call VFR. Weather looks clear today. A bit hazy, but otherwise it's okay. So I think once let's see where we are on the GPS. So we are here. Oh, so there's a little bit of more of a mountain range we need to clear over here, and before we actually hit our airport. So I think it's these set of ranges over here, and the airport should be right after that. Let's go back to cockpit view, look around the cockpit. So the co-pilot here, well, he's just sitting there. Okay, that's cool. So I'm going to move forward so that I can get a better view, alright, from the cockpit. And see whether we can see our airport. Okay, still have another few more nautical miles. So this part of the flight route is pretty standard, nothing exciting over here. I could speed up the simulation to get past it, but since it's only going to be a 20-minute flight, I'm just going to leave it as the normal rate, which is the real-time rate. So I won't speed up the flight. So I'll switch back to external view. So yeah, I still have to cross another mountain range, which is I think the lower one over there. Since it looks pretty low, so I'm going to lower my altitude back to around 2,000 feet. I think that should be okay. Let's increase airspeed, about 195 knots. We can't go too fast because 205 knots would be the limit, and beyond that we'll risk of having the airframe undergoing through too much stress and the plane will crash. So we have to stay under 200 knots.
SQ8816 contact Tokyo Center on 126.1. Good day.
126.1, SQ8816.
So ATC asks us to transfer us to another approach But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually quickly contact
Tokyo
them.
Center, SQ8816, 2200.
Japan Air 678 climb and maintain flight level tree 60. SQ8816, Tokyo Center, altimeter 2992, radar contact, continue.
So SQ8816 is our flight code. So I'm going to contact the airport.
Climb and maintain flight level tree 60, Japan Air 678.
Look for Nagasaki Airport. Here, this one, RJFU. Alright, and I'm going to request a full stop landing.
Nagasaki Tower, SQ8816 is 17 miles northeast of 2000, with
altimeter
right to land.
2992, fly left traffic runway tree 2.
So left traffic on runway 32. So that means we're going to fly with the runway 32 on our left. And then we're going to fly the standard routes, make a base, and then turn to final in order to land. So let's go back to the map. Okay, looks like we need to cross this mountain range. Probably the last, looks like the last one. Yeah, should be the last mountain range. And it looks like 2,000 feet should be enough to clear it. So
SQ8816, acknowledge last transmission.
So I need to acknowledge the flight pattern entry.
Enter left downwind runway tree 2, SQ8816.
Runway 32 means the runway is at a heading of 320 degrees, which is right now, if I'm looking at it, I'm facing 210 degrees, so 370 degrees or 320 degrees will be to the right. So we'll see. We need to first clear this mountain range. Looks pretty high. Should I go higher? No, I think I'm good. It's pretty close. In the real world, I would have to go for a much higher altitude to clear it, but since this is a simulation, it's going to stick at this height, this altitude, 2,000 feet. That will allow us to land quickly. So I think once we cross this last stretch of mountains with all the trees, we should be able to see our airport already. Okay, you can see we're pretty close to the ground. Mostly plantations over here. Keeping steady, and we should be reaching our Nagasaki airport very, very soon. I think the airport is just up ahead. There's a patch of land there that is a bridge that goes to it, and that might be the runway. Let's just check. Increase the range. Yeah, okay, so it is on that little island over here. So I have to fly a left downwind, so runway 32 means I have to actually land in this direction, right? 32 is this way, so this is the beginning of runway 32. So I just need to fly here, probably to the left a little bit, and then I can then probably to here and then take a left turn and then go to land runway 32. So I'm going to start to go into heading mode and turn a bit to the left. Too quick. I think this is too slow. I'm going to disengage autopilot and then land manually. So I need to make sure I get enough landing runway, get enough distance, keep it steady. I don't want to go too high. Let's check again where our airport is. So it's all right.
Wind calm. Clear to land runway 32.
Okay, it's giving us clearance to land, so I'm going to
Clear to
go
land runway 32, SQ8816.
just a little bit more, and then I'm going to make a right turn and then head towards the runway. Okay, let's just center ourselves. Okay, we're good to go. Let's make a turn right now. This is the Nagasaki airport area, also full of mountains and a big lake over here. So I'm turning. Alright, so that's the airport. So I'm going to straighten out a little bit, and before I start to turn again, so I'm going to lower my throttle. Right, I'm going to start turning already. And start slowly descending. Okay, going too fast. To pull back on the stick. Alright, so I really need to slow down over here. It's a very short landing. Lower my landing gear. Increase flaps. And I need to land at around 75 to 80 knots. Alright, so okay, steady. Still too fast. I'm gonna have to lower my throttle all the way to idle. Right. Oops, still a bit too fast. Okay, 80 knots. Still okay, barely okay. I'm going to retract my flaps. I'm going to wait for ATC to ask me to exit. I'm going to exit the runway to the taxi area.
SQ8816, turn next taxiway.
Increase my throttle back to about 1000 RPM. But make sure my airspeed doesn't go above 30 knots on the ground.
SQ8816, contact ground on 121.6.
So we need to contact ground.
121.6 for SQ8816.
So I have to contact ground and request taxi to parking.
Nagasaki ground, SQ8816, taxi to parking.
ATC is still not giving us taxi instructions. I think it's behind us. These are all the commercial aircraft gates. And maybe this is a bug. It's not actually giving us any instructions. Alright, in that case we'll just go ahead and just stop the aircraft in any random location. Okay, just gonna stop here, I guess. Okay, This is actually where all the commercial aircraft are. So I shouldn't be stopping here, but never mind. Since I have no instruction from ATC, I'm just going to stop here. Okay, throttle is idle. We're going to brake. Stop. Okay. Go to our cockpit. Put on the parking brake. And then turn off my master engines. Turn off AV master and electrical master. Open the door. And I just step out of the aircraft. Right, here we are in Nagasaki Airport. So this is essentially the short flight from Fukuoka Airport, passing by Fukuoka Tower and landing in Nagasaki Airport, right, on our diamond aircraft, the DA62. Thanks for watching.